Welcome. We're here.
We're here. We've begun.
We're off the beaten path.
Yes, we are.
Where are we at the moment? Do you know where we are?
We're in your area. We're in
We're in my
Doncaster.
area. We're in Doncaster at the lovely Ruffy Lake Park. You can see behind us a nice lake. So, should we start off talking about what this is, why we're recording this?
I think that would be useful. Yeah, we should start off. Why
Yeah.
we picked Off the Beaten Path as the name.
There are many names to choose from, and we decided off the beaten path, because you and I, we've taken a bit of an off the beaten path approach to life. We, not for the sake of being different, we've discovered that one of the ways to improve is usually to do the opposite of what most people tend to do.
Yes, sir.
And we both love nature. So our intention is to record these podcasts in a nice scenic place, so you guys have a nice backdrop to look at as well, or if you're listening in.
Kind of got the aesthetic of the rain too.
Aesthetic, yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear it through the microphone, but it's currently raining in the background, and that's
So peaceful.
we
So
love
peaceful.
the rain.
And it's like 20 degrees right now. It's humid. Like, storm's coming apparently, but this is a perfect place to watch it if it does come.
Hopefully, we get it on film.
Hopefully we get it on film. So, I guess the intention of these podcasts are, we don't know how often we're going to run them. Maybe once every few weeks, once a month. But we're going to talk about our experience through life, Calum and my experience through life. By no means are we experts. We're as much students learning the life, how to get better, improve. We're both coaches in this self-improvement, self-help, mindset, whatever. There's so many ways you can describe it. So, yeah, we're just going to be sharing every episode, I guess, our learning lessons, our life stories, and for the intention of seeing how can that help you, wherever you're at, whether you're at the start of your journey, somewhere in the middle, more of an expert. We hope that whatever we're talking about is relevant and helpful. So is there anything you want to say, bro?
Essentially, for one of the biggest reasons, or the main driving force behind us starting this, would easily be that people in their early 20s, one of the other names that you kind of came up with for this podcast was a quarter life crisis.
Quarter life clarity.
Quarter life clarity.
Yeah.
Yes. And that really resonated with me a lot. And the reason for that is because a lot of people in their mid-20s and that, we're in this very kind of strange time in our lives. There's a lot of people that have made a lot of progress. And then in social media these days, you see a lot of people doing extremely well.
Much better than us, apparently.
Much better than us. And that puts can put a lot of pressure, can cause you to put a lot of pressure on yourself for not being there, not being where all those other people are at. So the reason why we wanted to get together and share what we like to talk about in our experience is because we want to provide some clarity on ways in which you can actually start to, one, live the life that you want to live, not be so influenced by what you see other people doing, and instead try and actually find or just surrender yourself to the life in which you are meant to be living, and ways that you can help remove some of the external influences that can be making you feel all sorts of ways that you don't want to be feeling. And so we wanted to get together and share ways that we found that have worked for us. Like what you said, we're both now coaches now. We believe we have value to add to the world. And this is just another way of us adding that value and then getting what we've seen out there as effective strategies and topics that need to be talked about, because it's just not really spoken about a lot in the early 20s.
Yeah, everything you don't learn in school.
Everything you don't learn in school.
Because there's no blueprint for this. Like, you graduate, all of a sudden you're like 24, 25, and you're like, oh, How did we get here? What happened? Not much. Not much. But yeah, you don't learn much about addiction, your mindset, what are emotions, are they important? Do we just grind our way through them? What's productivity? What is the meaning of life? Do you find it? Do you create it? Is it the same for everyone? Yeah, all these questions we all have as people in our 20s, even beyond your 20s. Things we're going to be talking about, figuring out our conclusions at the time. They might evolve, and that's the beautiful thing. So, let's start off. Pick a number between 1 and 25.
17.
17. So, looking at the wrong list. Where's 17? So you're a Kendrick fan.
Big Kendrick fan.
Big Kendrick fan.
Yes.
What do you love about Kendrick?
I love that Kendrick has substance in his music.
Yeah.
He's not the type of guy that's just going to keep dropping album after album after album because it makes him money. Of course, he's in the industry now. He's adding value to the music industry. He's adding value to the world. And that, as a byproduct, creates money. But his music is very purposeful. He's got a lot of story behind it. He's actually got a lot of meaning behind his lyrics. He addresses topics that you wouldn't necessarily address in pop culture because they're not popular. They're stuff that people don't want to talk about because it's a bit uncomfortable. And he's an icon in the industry, and he's making a living and making a difference by talking about stuff that is uncomfortable, but he's bringing it to light and addressing it in music, which is a really good way to communicate to people.
Yeah. What's an example? Because I'm not a Kendrick fan. I don't listen to his music. Just not my type of music. But that's cool. So I don't know what you're talking about. What are some of those examples of those uncomfortable things that he talks about that perhaps other artists are like, ooh, can't talk about that?
Well, for instance, a song that actually went popular
Yep.
was Humble a few years ago. And that's one
I know that one.
Yeah, most people will know that one. And if you listen to the lyrics behind that song, it's literally asking people to reflect on their decisions, reflect on what they see as being valuable to themselves or valuable, what gives them value in the world. And it's like, it's not your fake ass. It's not your nice car. It's not the jewelry. It's like, what happens if you stripped all of that back?
Yeah, who are you without all those?
Who are you without all of those things? And when you listen to most popular culture music, you literally hear about, okay, I've got this really nice car. I've got this really bad girl.
10
bad
of them.
as in good. Yeah, 10 of them.
10
yeah,
of them,
yeah. And they all fit in the one car.
As many as you want.
And it's very much setting up this expectation that people have. It's like, oh, okay, that's what a good life is living. Kendrick flips it on its head and goes, that might be attractive to put in a song. That might be cool. It might be hip. It might be fun to think about and pleasurable. But it's not meaningful.
Yeah. So he's gone a bit off the beaten path.
Yeah, Kenny is an off the beaten path rapper.
Kenny, if you're listening to this, we'd love to have you on the pod. Get this to Kenny. Tag him.
Get this to Kenny. Get this to Kenny.
No, that's sick. I know one of his songs. So his new album's called GNX.
Sick album.
GNX. What's your favourite track on that?
Probably Reincarnated.
Reincarnated.
Yeah.
Reincarnated. Well, he says in Reincarnated, I can tell residue that linger from your past creates a cell. What does that mean? What do you think that means? What do you think he's saying when he says that?
Oh, love this quote. It's another example of why Kenny's so cool, because he's actually bringing like real substance to the table.
I want you to sell me on why I should listen to Kenny.
Well, firstly, to answer that, you on why, I'm going to address the quote.
Go for it.
And the quote being basically, to quote it word for word, I can tell residue that linger from your past creates a cell. A lot of people in today's society, a lot of people struggle with this identity of themselves. And that identity of themselves is based on their past, is based on their experiences that they've had, and then that almost creates a realm of possibility for their future. So it's like, I have done this in my past, therefore I'm capable of that. And I can tell the residue from your past creates a cell, being my past is literally has beaten me down, has condemned me to live this certain life moving forward.
Like being trapped in a cell.
Being trapped in a cell. Yeah. And so it's literally saying that you are now in this box and you can only prosper and live the rest of your life in this box due to what you've done in your past. So it's like you commit a crime, you find yourself in a prison because you've done that crime. And I think that what Kenny's bringing to the table here is that you've got people living their lives and limiting themselves because they believe that they are only capable of something that would reflect their past.
Like they're just stuck there.
They're stuck there.
It's a limitation.
It's a limitation that's completely put on them by themselves, and it's all from a memory of, or their perception of their memories from their past. So, to sell you on Kenny, mate, there's gold like this all throughout his songs. And it's music that's fun to listen to. It's creative. It's probably not like anything you've ever really heard.
Yeah.
Like a hip-hop song, you put some 808s, a kick, some hi-hats together these days with a little bit of auto-tune, and you've got a hip-hop track. But Kenny doesn't do any of that stuff. He has, obviously, those elements to it, but he throws it in and mixes it up in this new creative way. And then by listening to it, you're having fun, you're bopping along, and he's got all this really cool substance, like lyrics like that you can just digest. That's one line that would have taken him 3 seconds to say.
Yeah.
And we can pull all of that value from that single line. And these songs last for minutes.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Because I don't tend to be the person who listens to music for lyrics. I'm like more of a melody type of person. So I'll have to give Kendrick a try. Give it a taste. So would you say there, he's in a sense challenging the limiting belief of you are your past? Like your past defines your future. Like he's challenging that and trying to say like, hey look, this is what you believe. Doesn't have to be true. It might not be true. Is that what you think he's like alluding to there?
Totally.
Yeah. On that, you know this thing called anxiety?
I've heard of it.
I have an awesome perspective on it. I didn't think of this. Try and think where I heard this or where I learnt this. I think it's from Taylor Welch, maybe. But whoever said it is anxiety is fear from your past projected into a future situation. So something fearful or painful for you happened in the past, and you're anxious of it happening again. It hasn't happened yet. You're making this scenario up in your head that, oh no, this is going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And like this analogy, it's like your baby elephant attached to a rope, and it's in the ground with a stick, a small stick. And let's say like your master like whipped you because you tried to step outside like your confinements where you're supposed to go. Is like, don't do that. You're not allowed to move upon there. And then like 20, 30 years later, you have this massive elephant that's been stuck in the ground by this small stick because it doesn't want to step outside because it's like, okay, I'm going to get whipped again. But it doesn't know it's could pull that stick out even just by breathing heavily. Like, can trample the owner, can trample that. And that's what like all these little limiting beliefs are. We don't realize how much they hold us back and actually limit us. And as soon as we not even get rid of them, but just replace them with essentially the opposite, life begins to be more, not easy, but simple. You don't have as much as that, like, stress. Do you know of any other common limiting beliefs that people tend to have?
I'm not enough.
I'm not enough. That's a big one.
It's
Where do you think
huge.
that comes from?
The sense that in society these days we think we're broken.
Yeah.
We think we're okay.
Do you think we're broken?
I think in ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think at a very, very fundamental level, we are exactly as we're supposed to be. We're perfect.
Yeah.
There are things that we can improve, but if there wasn't anything to improve, why are we here?
Why are we here? Yeah. So you think we're like created perfect? Maybe we've deviated from that. So we just have to go back there. One of the things that I wouldn't say this annoys me, but these days there's like a label for everything.
Yeah.
And that can definitely
Yeah.
make everyone think, oh, I'm broken. I need fixing. Oh, I got anxiety. Need fixing. Oh, I got depression. Need fixing. I got ADHD. I need fixing. Like, I'm broken. Like, when did just life become a condition? Become a
Dude.
disease? Like, you're a human. You feel anxious. You feel happy.
Dude.
Well, there's nothing wrong with any of those. They're just things. Like, one of the main, I personally believe one of the main problems that people have with their emotions is thinking that their emotions are a problem. That there are better ones and worse ones. Like, look at this. It could be sunny right now. It's raining right now. Could be hailing. Could be windy as fuck. Doesn't have to affect how you feel.
There's a bird that's just landed on the table.
Come here. That's pretty cool.
What a beautiful creature.
What are your limiting beliefs, Mr. Bird? Off you go. Doesn't want to chat about it.
He's like, nah, bro,
Nah.
I'm out.
We're done. Don't try coaching me
Too
today.
deep, bro. Too deep.
Too deep. I just realised right there, engraved in the concrete, says "Rest and be thankful."
Oh.
Rest and be thankful. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Well,
Emotions.
We're talking about emotions,
Yeah.
and one of the things that kind of came up when you were speaking then was, yes, when we're born in this like perfect state of being, and as we grow and as we learn, we're essentially presented with the opportunity to become better. We can learn all these cool things. As a baby, you're not able to like drive a car.
No.
As a baby, you're not able to like get on a podcast. As a baby, you're not really
Don't even know how to
can't read.
swallow
You
your
can't.
food.
You can't
Yeah.
even swallow your food.
Trying to figure that out.
So it's like it's one of the things that comes with life. If you want to learn more things that are good and useful and will allow you to be a bigger and better version of yourself and contribute more to the world, what comes with that is the opportunity to learn things that will make you smaller.
Okay.
It's like you can also learn how to indulge in pleasure, which we've both
Yep.
done.
Yep.
And that makes you smaller. It then presents you with these problems like, oh, I need to vape all the time. I know you've had your problems with vaping. I've been a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
Like we then have this life that's now, I need that as part of my life. And that's something we've learnt. As a baby, you don't come out of the womb like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a smoker.
Where's the vape? Yeah.
Where to vape at? No, it's not like a thing. So that's something you've learnt. But also you have the opportunity to learn that, okay, that is not good for me.
Yep. So learning everything up to this point, we have all learned. We've learned the good stuff, and we've learned the stuff about us that we didn't like. It's all been learned behavior. Either we learned it from parents, teachers, societal expectations, what we've watched as a child, or even growing up, TV, music we listen to. That's why I don't listen to as much music with lyrics personally, but your trusted source, I trust the music you listen to. But yeah, everything you've learned, like your what's something people tend to not like, your lack of confidence, something you learned. Perhaps you learned that when I speak up, like perhaps there was a time when you were a child, you put your hand up in class. Like you're not going to remember this obviously, but your subconscious mind, your body remembers. It's like you put your hand up in class to answer the question. You got it wrong. This is like 6-year-old you. And everyone laughs. Then now you've learned it's not safe to speak up. I'm going to keep to myself. Be nice and quiet. So we can learn anything. And all these things you don't like about yourself, like you can unlearn it and then learn like the empowering belief or the thing that's going to help you. That's not like easy to do, but you can do it. And I think, like I talked about limiting beliefs before, another really big limiting belief people have is, if I suck at this, or if I'm not able to like grasp this the first time or understand it the first time, not doing it. Like this understanding of, I can't get the answer wrong. Like I can't look silly. The first time you learned how to eat your food, you had no idea how to do that. You had to learn how to do it. Like, what sport did you play growing up? You played cricket, didn't you?
I was a big cricket boy,
Big
yeah. A bit of
cricketer.
basketball, but mainly cricket, yeah.
Were you batter or bowler?
All rounder. All rounder. We could
All-rounder.
keep it for a bit too.
A keeper.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah. Well, bowling's very technical. Did you know how to bowl the first time?
Of course not.
No, you had to learn how to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, how long do you reckon it took you to learn how to bowl pretty confidently?
I'm still learning.
Still learning. Yeah.
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 Every day. Like, I was literally at the park last night with a few friends and we were just bowling and just having a bit of fun. And it's nice just to be able to kind of throw the arm over. But when you're running in, when you've got the pressure of the situation, you're actually in a game situation. Like, there's a lot of other factors that are contributing to that. And it's not about just like learning how to bowl. It's about like learning how to bowl in a game situation too. Which actually, you consider life as a game as well.
I do.
Don't you?
I do. I'll talk about that in just a sec.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. It's a good way to make life fun, make it enjoyable. Like we have all these things, like these challenges that come up. Make it fun. See if you can make it fun. But yeah, everything takes time to learn. Like it's okay if you suck at stuff. In fact, it's good if you suck at stuff. Because the only way you learn is by, how do you learn?
By giving it a try.
Giving it a try.
And trying again.
Yeah. And by failing. Only way you learn. You don't learn if you get it right. You learn when you fail. Like, oh no, I ran in too quickly. Maybe I go slower this time. Oh no, this was too slow. Or maybe like my steps are too big. Make it smaller. That's how you learn. So whatever it is you want to learn, wherever it's like overcoming addiction, like that's learning how to do that. It's not a do, it's a learning. You implement it, but you learn how to do it. You learn more about yourself. Like learning how to be confident. You're learning how to be confident. Learning how to deal with your anxieties. You don't get rid of them, but you learn how to cope with it and deal with it in healthier ways. They're all learning things. But obviously you're not, like we're not, as well, masters at it yet. And we probably never will be, but you get better. But you have to be okay. Now this is the, like, we talk about limiting beliefs. I like to call the opposite of a limiting belief the empowering belief. The empowering belief is, it's okay if I suck. Like I allow myself to suck,
Yeah.
and I will learn this until I no longer suck.
You almost expect yourself to suck at
Yeah,
the start.
be okay with sucking. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with sucking.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing to suck. Like if you suck, no one crop this out. No one take this out of context.
Talk about taking it out of context.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
if you suck,
Yeah.
and you really enjoy sucking, you're gonna become so much better at not sucking. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on the suck?
I get where you're coming from, and let's just kind of
Let's stop saying suck.
let's stop saying suck.
Okay.
But the rest, it's more to do with failing.
Failing.
And like, it's really interesting on what you were saying there, because failing is so important,
And we're so scared of it.
and we're so scared of it.
We won't do anything.
And it's totally fine.
That's
It's
okay.
like we're okay that it's okay that we're scared of it. It's because that's like what we've said. It's something we've learned,
Yeah.
and for us, it's real. For us, it's true.
Hmm.
It might not be for us because I think we've gone through that.
Yeah.
But for many people, it is, and I guess still it
It's
would
okay.
be on a
It's
level.
okay. Like there's nothing wrong with you as well.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's actually a necessary space for you to be in right now, because it's something that you need to learn,
Yeah.
and it's something that you need to improve on. It's something that you need to get better on, and it's a bridge that you need to cross.
Hmm.
So, if you're scared of failing, that's exactly where you need to be right now.
Yeah. A quote. I don't know. I heard this from Chris Williamson. I don't know if it's his quote or if he was quoting someone else, but he said, the thing you're looking for, or the improvement you're looking for, is in the work you're avoiding. So the thing you're scared of. And lots of people want this thing called courage. They want to be courageous. Like, very good value to have, very good like attribute to have. Now, most people, I would say, believe that courage is the absence of fear, like not being afraid.
Oh no.
No, it's not. Courage is having fear, because you can't get rid of fear. Like everyone has fear. It's just another emotion. Like everyone has happiness. Just another emotion. What courage is having fear and then doing it. Anyways, it's like discipline. Like discipline is not wanting to do something and then doing it. Whereas motivation is you want to do it and then you do it. So like the gym, for example. If you go to gym all the day, like every day, or whatever, and you actually want to go to the gym, then that's not discipline. It's motivation. Keep going to the gym. I'm not hating on anyone. Like, keep going to the gym. But when you first started going to the gym, you probably didn't want to go to the gym. Now that's you being disciplined because you don't want to do it. When you hop into like the cold shower, the ice bath, you don't want to do that. No one really gets excited about, oh, ice bath, let's go. Keen for this.
Well, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I think
Yeah,
that's the point.
that's
It's
okay,
the
there's
times
nothing
that you
wrong.
Don't. It's like they're the most meaningful
The
ones.
times that you do, awesome, that's motivation. Do
yeah.
it. Times that you don't, awesome. It's discipline. Like, again, discipline's something you learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, when you're learning discipline, you suck at it the first time. You, like, even talk about addiction, vaping, smoking. You relapse all the time. And I think most people, lots of people get disheartened when they relapse, or they don't even try to stop these things, because like, I'm just going to relapse tomorrow. That's okay. You're learning.
Yeah.
You're learning your discipline. You're learning about yourself. You're learning, like, every time you relapse, you learn why. What can I learn from that? What is that trying to tell me? It's one of my favorite questions to ask myself. For anything. Whenever you're going through a tough time, whenever you're frustrated with something, whenever something's just annoying, it's just bugging you, ask yourself this question. What is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to teach me? Because I don't believe life just happens by accident, by chance. Like, I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason. Like, there's this Stoic phrase. I love the Stoics.
Yes, you do.
2,000-year-old wisdom. They say amor fati, which means love your fate. Love your fate. And that means that everything's happening for your benefit. So life's given us all these opportunities, all these little challenges, as annoying as they are, as traumatic as they are. there's a lesson on the other side of it. And that's not me trying to downplay, be like, oh, no, don't worry about what you're going through. There's a lesson, there's a lesson. No, what you're going through will be shit. And there's no denying that. And when you're in the right headspace, when you can come up for some water or come up for some air, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What can I learn about myself, about life, about the situation?
Because they're like the most valuable moments, the most valuable experiences. It's like when we are struggling.
It's getting to the other side of that.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, it's like that's
The journey.
that's the goal. That's like
Yeah.
the bits that you're looking for to make the life easier are the hard bits. Like the hard bits is where all the work needs to be done. Like we were saying before with the ice bath. If you like an ice bath, if you think it's awesome, great,
just
that's
pleasure,
fantastic.
yeah.
And then it's just awesome. Like great,
Yeah.
awesome. But it's the days that you don't want to do it. For the simple fact that you didn't want to do it, but you did it anyway.
You feel invincible.
And then
Yeah.
you are literally building self-control. You're building discipline, and you're proving to yourself. It's just like stacking the odds in your favor.
You're learning that you can do things even if you don't enjoy it,
Exactly.
which is such a important lesson for your career,
Yeah.
your health,
Yeah.
your relationships. You're going to have some conversations you don't want to have, but by going to the gym, having ice baths,
Yeah.
like by having good habits that you don't really want to do, but you do them, you teach yourself that I can do these things I'm not afraid of. Yes, I don't want to do them, but I can do them. So that when you do have to do something you don't want to do, and it's actually like really important to do it, like it's not super important to have an ice bath. Like it's not life or death situation. Like that's not going to affect your career or your, but you're teaching yourself that, okay, when life does get to the stage where I have to choose between like what's easy and what's right, I can choose like the harder thing. And yeah, it might be hard, but I know that, okay, I can probably get through it. Don't need to know right now how, but I've got through things before that are hard.
Yes.
Like
Exactly.
it's the faith that, there's the belief that I've done this before in a different way.
Yeah.
Like I've been through this scary thing in a different way. And everything's been through things, everyone has been through things that are hard. So you guys can already start adopting this belief. You've already been through and come over the other side of things that are hard. So you're already courageous. You're already disciplined. Just need to remind yourself
So you're
of
just
that.
like preparing yourself for the
Preparing
moments
yourself.
that
Yeah.
when you need it, you've got it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? Ah, yes. We've got cryptic messages on these microphones that can't be shared. Yeah, we've got notes. The entire script of this podcast is on the stem of the microphone. Talking about doing things. Well, you asked me, like, my life is a game. Like, I've turned my life into a game.
Yeah. Because that was one of the questions I was going to ask you today.
Yeah. So, those people, David Goggins is popping off. Like, I respect that man so much. Lots of people give him shit for, like, he's running away from something. Maybe he is, but, like, what he's doing is unbelievable. Like, our generation needs, like, role models, and he's a role model. We need role models. He's a role model. And so because of him, guys like him, say like Ed Milet, could name anyone, even just like anyone who's got a good physique, essentially.
Yeah.
Discipline. Discipline is what they talk about. And everyone wants to develop this skill called discipline. Beautiful skill to have. One thing that's really helped for me is making life fun, turning it into a game. Because as a kid, I used to play video games.
Yep.
Big video game person. Little bit of a nerd. I was a nerd growing up. I also played sport, but I was a bit of a nerd.
Yeah. Nerd's
Yeah,
good.
nerd's
Nerds
good.
are real good.
Yeah, it's fun times.
Nerds are real good.
Fun times. Would never take back that childhood. Lots of time wasted. But never take it back. Never take it back. Made me who I am. So I love video games playing up. I love playing video games growing up. So I thought, how can I turn my life into a video game so that I'd be motivated to level up in life rather than level up in Pokemon Silver?
Yeah. So
You
how
know?
did you do it?
How did I do it? So there's all these tasks I want to do. All these tasks I have to do just in life, like business related tasks. I have to post posts. Sometimes I don't want to do that. I have to message my clients, message to find clients, create lessons for my clients, blah, 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 blah. In my health, I have to go to the gym. I have to eat clean as best as I can. Relationships, have to make sure I'm seeing my friends. Because sometimes we can get like too far into I'm grinding, I'm working, that you like lose your friends or you lose your health. So I gotta like actually remind, like this is actually something I have to make sure I do. I gotta make sure I see my friends, because otherwise, I'm naturally more of an introverted person. Everyone wants to be extroverted, but like there's nothing wrong with either. You just gotta know where you are and realize that okay, in your weaknesses, adapt to the strength. So me knowing that I'm naturally a more introverted person, it's like something I have to think of. Oh, I have to like plan to see people. Now I'm good at it. Like I don't have to think about it as much. Like I'm like okay, I can start initiating. Like I'm good at initiating. Okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Otherwise, I'd just wait for people. But anyway, I'm going off topic here. So the thing is, I'd have all these things. Like I'd aim. Okay, I want to see at least like 2 people per week. I want to post like this amount of videos per week on social media. I want to go to the gym this amount of times per week. And simple. This is so simple. I learnt this whilst procrastinating in uni. There's a video that came up on my YouTube. You can learn so much on YouTube. It's likely where you're watching this as well. But on the right, it just said, turn your life into a video game. Like, oh, I'd love to do that. And this is what I learned from it, and I implemented it. So have all your tasks, and they could be like your like side missions or your quests, things you want to do. Call them whatever you want, and you just tick them off, and it makes your life feel like a video game because you're ticking them off. But that's not enough. So what I do is for each thing I do, or each cluster of things I do, have like a reward. And lots of people already do this with the gym. It's like if they go to the gym, if they hit all their workouts, they have a cheat day. So it's like, yeah, I get a reward. But here's something that I don't think I learned it in this YouTube video, but I don't know where I learned it, but that's irrelevant. We want to reward ourselves with things that in a video game, when you level up, you become better. You get like a better sword, or you get a better like attack that you can defeat like the next level of, I don't know, opponents or monsters that you're slaying or whatever. So in life, what you want to do is have the same thing. So when you go to the gym and you hit your workouts, like buy yourself some more protein powder, or buy yourself a new like outfit, or something like that. Like reward yourself with something that doesn't, like a cheat day puts your progress back. I'm not saying don't have cheat days, but like if that's your reward, then it's like every time you level up, you're leveling back down.
Exactly. Yeah.
So your reward, make yourself your reward something that will increase your progress, that will make the next level better. So for me, for example, for my content, once I posted a certain amount of content, I bought myself a microphone, which is actually on the way. Or I allowed myself to get a microphone.
Well done. Congratulations.
A tripod.
Yep.
So just things that make your videos better.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the gym, like I bought protein powder. I was like, okay. My mate asked my mate, "What's a protein powder you get?" He told me, and I'm like, "Actually, I'm not going to buy this yet. I want to earn it first.
Nice.
I want to earn it first. I want to slay the dragon first."
Yeah.
So I didn't hit my workout goal, and it took me like 3 months to actually hit my workout goal. So I'd say I wanted to do X amount of workouts. I didn't hit it for like 3 months, and I was like, "I need this protein powder, so I'm going to hit it." And then I hit it. So that's how it turned into a video game. You got to reward yourself, and see life as a game. And by doing this, it's like, if you are someone who wants to just like watch Netflix all the time or play games all the time, if your life is fun, you end up playing the game of life. And you can do this however you want. Like you can set up a piece of paper. Me being a little bit of a nerd, I've got it on like Google Sheets. Like I've got it all laid out. But yeah, like I track my habits, and if I hit, a certain amount, a certain percentage by the end of the month, get a reward.
And you have a habit tracker.
I have a habit
Do
tracker.
you want to explain what that is real quick?
Yes. I recommend everyone makes a habit tracker if you want to become disciplined. What a habit tracker is, it's very simple. It's nothing like rocket science. It's just a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a piece of paper. You can do it whatever's easiest for you. Whenever we're doing habits, we want to make something as easy for us as possible to do it. So if you're a digital person, you can do it on like even the notes section of your phone or Excel or whatever. If you're not that person, do it on a piece of paper. Like make it easy for you. Don't do it the way someone's just 'cause it's the way everyone's doing it. Do it not easy, but the one that's gonna get you to start the easiest. That's gonna make the habit, get you to build the reps. So a habit tracker is literally just you write down like the days of the week or the days of the month, and then the habit on the side, and then you just tick off when you've done it. You're just tracking yourself doing the habits, and when you track your progress, this is a statistic. It's your progress increases by 70%. 70%, which is a
That's phenomenal. Yeah.
fuck ton.
Yeah, heaps.
So just by you knowing what you've done or what you're aiming for, you're able to improve so much easier, so much better, because it's front of mind. It's like, oh, I need to hop in the cold shower today, otherwise I'm not going to hit my goal.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go yesterday. Or, this is something I need to do today. Like, it's just a reminder. Oh, it's there. I should tick this off. Because when you're in a video game, like in the top of the screen or somewhere, it tells you your habit tracker, like what you need to do. Do that in life. Have it somewhere. You can have it on your phone. You can put it on the wall, like on a piece of paper. Whatever's easiest. Like the things you want to do. If it's a daily task, like do it daily, tick off. If it's like more of a consistency-based goal where, like for the gym, like say you want to go 3-4 times a week, like write it and do like, I've done 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4. And if it's just a one-off task, like do that too. Whatever's easiest. Just track your habits. Track your habits. Your progress increases by 70%. And also another thing is when you're tracking progress, you learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
Because obviously habits are tangible. Emotions and stuff, they're intangible. You can track them. You can give yourself a score out of 10. But whenever you go into a rut, which they're not normal, like there's nothing wrong with you if you go into burnout or you go through like an unmotivated phase. But when you're tracking your habits, you can actually, like let's say you go into like a dip in energy, or you've had like a week where you're like, fuck this. You can actually look at your habit tracker and be like, did anything change? Like, did I stop doing a habit? Like, is there a habit I stopped? And this coupled with another habit called journaling, which we can talk about, but we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You build so much self-awareness about yourself and what works for you.
Yeah.
What works for you, which is so important, because what works for me, what works for you might not work for like whoever's listening to this. Likely, it helps. But there might be a different way.
Well, it's about being accountable. So it's about holding yourself accountable. So like in the coaching space, we see a lot of the time you want an accountability partner. Accountability partner. The best accountability partner you can ever have is yourself.
Yeah, make yourself a good accountability partner. So I don't have to hold you accountable to stuff.
No, because we've both kind of gotten to that stage where we've found things that work for us, like a habit tracker, like something that will, at the end of the day, we have to write down, were we good at this, were we not good at this?
And again, there's nothing wrong if you didn't do it.
But it's more just about acknowledging to yourself, okay, today was a tough day. I didn't do my cold shower or something. It was really cold outside. I didn't do my cold shower. Okay, well then that's an area in which moving forward you can be like, okay, when it's cold, I don't want to do cold showers. All right, no worries. It's cold today. You know what? I'm going to do a cold shower.
Yeah.
And it's like it almost creates an ability
challenge accepted
for you to challenge yourself incrementally. You can do it step by step as opposed to going, no, I need to have a cold shower every day. It's like, bro, chill. You don't.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can start to progress. And the habit track is probably one of the best things because it's not, and what I love about it the most is it's not, okay, I've done 14 days, which so many people are able to do.
Oh, bro,
Dude, I do 14
talk about
days.
This,
yeah, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm burnt out. But
the streak
is toxic.
I hate the streak.
The streak sucks.
Especially the streak. I don't care how many days you've gone without drinking. Like, I don't. If you've got a lot of days without drinking or something, like, well done. Like, actually, well done. It's really hard to do. But I don't think that should be your focus.
Yeah.
So on your habit tracker, you can also put like, if you want to stop like something, you could be like sober or blah blah blah, and just tick how many days you've been, like every day you've been sober. Obviously, you tick it in the morning or at night, especially if it's something like porn. You can relapse at night, so tick it in the morning. Which is, I believe, is one of the most like subtle and silent addictions that our generation has. I've learned that it's not just guys that struggle with it, like girls do too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
We're
thought
humans, man.
I thought it was just a dude thing, but I guess everyone struggles with lust. But
We're humans.
like, not many people know. I think deep down we all know it's bad.
Yeah.
And this we can come back to that. That specific addiction. Like, we can talk about our personal addictions, share our stories. But the streak. What the streak tells us is that, what's the obsession with the streak? It tells us that, like, I gotta disagree with you a little bit, tiny bit, and that's okay.
Please.
Because I know we are good with disagreeing with each other.
Yeah.
Because we know it's not personal.
Nah, disagreements are good.
We love disagreements.
Tell me why.
So, I don't even know if this is how you meant it, but you can obviously correct me. I think it's good to have the goal. Have the goal of doing it every day. Like, have the goal. Like, that's like what you're trying to achieve, your standard. But be okay when you fail, because you learn. Because if you fail and then you give up, you're stuck in failure. Like, if you're like, I'll go until I fail, which is what I believe when you're doing the streak, is what most people do. It's like, I'm going to try and do 100 days sober. And then you get to day 99 and you have a drink and you hate yourself.
No.
Like, bro, that's 99%.
It's not useful. Yeah.
It's 99%. If that was a maths test in high school, like,
Yeah.
bro, you'd be loving it. If it's a uni assignment,
You'd be
you'd
top
be
of the
like
class.
top of the class. Like, it's not about how many days you've gone without it in a row. It's more like, how many days have you gone without it in a period of time.
Yeah.
Whether, like, let's say, and this is the thing about a habit tracker, is you can give yourself a goal for like the month. I do like a 4-week habit tracker. That's how I do it, 4 weeks. And I'll say have a goal of, for example, I want to do, for me, I do like 27 or 28 days no alcohol, because I might allow myself to have a drink every now and then. Moderation. But let's say when you're first starting out, let's say pornography, for example, you might say, okay, let's see if I can do 20 out of 28 days, or like even 15 out of 28 days, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you want to, like, do what you can. Do 15 out of 28. See if you can hit that. If you, like, bust a nut for the first 15 days, and then for the next 15 you don't, like, 13, cool. Beauty. If it's spread out evenly, like every second day, you're like, beauty. So what you can do is, like, see what the first month is and just try to beat it the next month. So if you relapse, or if you, let's say you were sober vaping, for example, because you can do that every day easily. Like having a drink, you can still do that every day easily, but vaping is more accessible because it's just there. Whereas a drink, you have to crack it open, go to the fridge. Vape's just there. You have to buy it. Vape's sort of just there. Like, see if you can go 10 days without it. And then next month, okay, see if you can go 15. And then that's just, you're making progress. Rather than being like, I'm going to go 100 days. Just make progress. Get better each month. Get better each month.
It's one of the biggest things is it's almost an egotistical thing.
Yeah, it's like, look at me. Look how much I've done.
So when we go and we set out, there's the good old saying, and it's like, it's not necessarily saying, but it's very common knowledge. At the start of the year, January is the biggest month for gyms.
And we're getting close to it.
It's the biggest month for gyms. And why? Because everyone has their New Year's
resolution, which I think is the biggest load of bullshit.
But it's like, everyone does it, and it's good because it's like they want to be a better version of themselves.
100%.
But it's the addiction or desire.
Addiction to improvement?
It was the desire to essentially not be who you are right now. And it's like, okay, I want to be this kind of different version of myself. I want to do this. It's going to be the best. And you have this really good intention. What is one of the worst parts for people for when they get 14 days or 28 days into it and then they go, oh, no, this is too hard. I'm going to do something else. One of the hardest things for people is they just kind of default to their old state of being. They default to their old self-identity because by sticking with something new, they're venturing into territory that is going to change the way they live their lives. It's going to change the person that they are. It's probably going to change the people that are around them, the environments they find themselves in. They're going to start experiencing new emotions. They're going to start having these experiences which are unfamiliar and uncomfortable, and that's not what they signed up for.
Yeah.
They signed up for, I want to get ripped because I want to get chicks.
Signed up for the end goal, not the
exactly
action.
And when they get 14 or 28 days into it or a year into it or whatever, and they realize, oh, okay, this is what it actually...
Oh, this is hard.
This is what it requires. Yeah. That's when it's like, oh, nah, like, it's the easy option. I'm going to do the easy option. I'm going to tap out, like, whatever. And it's normally, I'm just going to miss this session. Or I'm just going to vape today. And it's like, that is okay. But what it is it's essentially putting you further back than when you started. So what you can become more aware of is, are you changing because you think or you believe that it's good for your health and the people around you?
Or is it an ego thing?
Or is it like, if I do this, I'm going to be able to consider myself better than the people around me?
I'll be more accepted.
Am I going to be more accepted? Am I going to be able to have more connection with people? So why are you doing it? It's this...
The most important question you can ask yourself.
Yeah, it's massive.
Why? Very important question. Before we talk about why, it's the obsession with the outcome, the obsession with the goal that, first of all, it's not a strong enough why. We have to become obsessed with the process. Because if you're just obsessed with the outcome, you might take shortcuts to the outcome. Like, let's say your goal is to become jacked in the gym. Have that goal. We have that goal. We both want to.
Damn straight.
Yeah, have it. But don't make that your obsession. Because on day 30, when you don't look jacked, which no one's going to look jacked on day 30, unless you're the son of God, but, like, you're just going to start injecting roids.
My immediate response was like, I wish after 30 days you look jacked, but I used to wish after 30 days I look jacked, but now it's like, nah,
everyone would
it'd
have
be too easy.
Everyone would have it.
And it's like, it's just too easy, and then I'm not working for anything.
Too easy.
It's like the working for it and the going through the hard part turns out to be the best bit, even though it's like what people avoid. That's what you're missing. Like, that's the best bit, I promise you.
If it doesn't, like, the things like, if it's all the things that you find easy, you don't enjoy it. Like, you don't enjoy it at all. Afterwards, you don't even think about it. Like, eating food, like cutting a steak with a knife and fork. Don't get excited about that. Like, afterwards, you get excited after eating a steak. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah, steak's delicious.
Steak's fantastic.
But by overcoming a hard thing, or like earning it, it's the earning. It's the delayed gratification. And I think it's one of the reasons why lots of us feel sad these days, or lost, or unsure. We don't even know if we are sad. Everyone tells us we're sad.
Yes, correct.
Everyone tells us we're sad, but
it's almost cool.
It's almost cool to be sad, but
like, which is weird.
We're like, you're just human as well. But I think one of the reasons why we do feel so like unfulfilled, that's the word, unfulfilled with life, is because we don't delay gratification. We want the reward now. We want the good feeling now. We don't want to earn it. So, like social media, TikTok, it gives you the reward straight away.
Like, so does vaping.
When
so
you go,
drinking,
when you go onto there, you're looking for something.
Yeah.
Let's say you're looking for peace. Like, vaping gives you that peace straight away. Like, there's no denying it gives you peace. If it didn't, people wouldn't do it. And there's no denying that, like, drinking, getting smashed is fun. Like, it is fun. Like, lots of people you sit on their high horse and be like, that's not fun. Not doing that anymore. It's not fun. It is fun. Like, you can't deny it's fun.
Of course, it's fun.
It's fun. It's fun. But we're not saying to do it, but it's fun. Just don't deny it's fun. Don't lie to yourself.
Exactly.
But, yeah, don't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong if you want to do it. But discipline is being able to say, I want to do it, but I'm not going to. But anyways, when it comes to... So there's two types of activities we can ever do. Instant gratification and delayed gratification. An instant gratification activity means that you get the reward straight away. So it feels... And typically it feels good when you're doing it, but you absolutely hate yourself afterwards. So when you go to the fridge and you open it up for lunch and you see a nice big cake and you see some eggs, and you're like, eggs take like 15 minutes to cook or to be ready. Cake and just chow it down. Or chips, nice Doritos. You feel good when you're having the Doritos. You can't deny it.
Yeah,
Delicious. But afterwards you're like, oh, fuck. Hate myself. Same with vaping. It's like you feel good doing it. Like you feel good doing it, but after it you feel like shit. Porn's probably the biggest example.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I don't know if girls get the same thing afterwards, but guys like feel good doing it, love it. But afterwards, not only do you feel like shit, but you just become you're a zombie.
It's like
you're a zombie.
It's like that was one because you know it wasn't the real thing.
Yeah.
And two because it's like.
But your brain doesn't.
Yeah, and it's almost just like. Oh, like
that's
what
it?
now?
Yeah, what now?
And
Now I've
so
got all
like
this mess to clean
then
up.
it's like, then do I go again? Like how long is it until I go again? It's like, it's that because you've gone there.
Constant chase.
You because you've gone there. You now have to deal with the down, but because you don't want to deal with the down, you try and up the high.
It's like the come down,
and then you kind of go up again. You go up again, up, and then trying to go down. It's just like that's the part people don't want to deal with. But if you want to go up, if you want to have that pleasure, you have to do the down. It 100% happens. You cannot get around that. You have to go through it. So yeah, you can go out, have beers, like what you're saying. Go out, have fun.
Moderation.
Go out, do something that you really enjoy doing. That's pleasurable. Like, but what you're going to have to be okay with is that at some point you're gonna feel down. And that is the very nature of going high. You have to feel down.
It's also the very nature of going down. You come back up.
Yes,
so, like obviously, Westgate Wednesdays, you have a huge weekend. You feel like shit. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's like, think of it as like a bank account, a currency. On the weekend, you've spent all your happiness. So now you're like in debt, and you got to wait for it to like come back. So this is what that's instant gratification activities. It's feel good like doing it. You feel shit afterwards, and it goes back. There's a hormone called dopamine, and dopamine is like the pleasure hormone or the reward anticipation. Technically, it's like the anticipation for reward. That's what it does. But whenever you do these dopamine, there's nothing wrong with dopamine. The thing that's wrong is unearned dopamine. Dopamine you haven't earned. So, like drugs, getting smashed, vaping, it's unearned dopamine. You haven't really done anything to do it. You just, as in, like maybe you feel like you've done something to do it. You're like, oh, I've hit this goal, let's go get smashed. But in order to actually like do the action, like you just drink it and then all of a sudden you feel good. Like the reward comes straight away, or the good feeling comes straight away. So that's what I mean. It's unearned dopamine. The opposite of that, before I go into the opposite, especially in today's modern world, back when you were like a caveman, even 100 years ago, you got dopamine doing what we're doing now, watching a like
how good?
Yeah, but today it's so easy to get dopamine, and the dopamine we get is just too much for our brain to handle. Like it's beyond the capabilities. Like you go on Instagram, you open it up, and you can see like 15 half-naked chicks in the span of 10 seconds.
Yeah, and it shows it to you as well because it knows that you want to see
want.
that.
And that's
the world that we live in.
Your brain's like, it's like, this is your new baseline now. This is what makes you happy. If you're not getting that, it makes you happy. And that's why you keep opening up Instagram, or you keep doing the drugs, because like this is what your brain expects now.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is, when we remove those things, it's like your dopamine, like a thermostat, like the thermostat, like the set temperature comes back down to normal.
Yeah.
Comes back down to normal. And this is one of the things I find, we talk about off the beaten path and how, like, to be abnormal simply just means, like, enjoying normal, like, random things. Things that your grandparents probably enjoyed. Like reading a book at night. Like, when you remove all these instant gratification activities, these other things actually become enjoyable. Like, I know everyone thinks, yeah, but if I stop doing these things, like, I'm self-sabotaging myself. I'm not having fun anymore. Like, I'm removing my fun. But what... And you only learn this through going through it and through going through the other side of it. But when you remove these things, life in itself becomes fun. Like, sitting with a friend becomes fun. Going for a walk becomes fun. Reading a book becomes fun. You don't have to read books, by the way. But just everyday things become fun. Life at its default
just
becomes
raw
fun.
life.
Yeah, and life doesn't have all these labels anymore.
Yeah.
It's just life is life and it's fun. And so then the opposite of instant is delayed, which is where when you're doing it, it feels like shit, but then afterwards you feel good after. You get like a dopamine spike. You feel good after. So ice bath, obvious one. You feel like shit doing it, but afterwards you feel invincible. Going to the gym, anything that's hard, like working on your business, working on your health, having a difficult conversation with a loved one.
Doing something that you find scary.
Yeah, anything that's difficult.
Anything that invokes fear in you. Doing that now, because the harder it seems right now to do, the greater you will feel afterwards.
Yeah. So if you want your life to be more enjoyable, like, actually artificially create more hard things. Like, don't make your life harder, but do more difficult things and do less easy things. And I think people believe, like, if you do that, your life becomes, I'm grudging through this every day. Oh, life is shit because I'm waking up this early and I'm going to the gym, and it's like, no, it actually becomes fun. Like, it actually becomes fun. You actually enjoy it.
But it's very, very common perception to think
no, I don't want to do that.
It's going to make it worse.
Yeah, no, it makes it fun.
But that's why we come back to the off the beaten path as the topic, because so much of what we are told, so much of what is marketed to us,
Well,
probably
we're told this is what you're going to enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. So much of what is marketed, and bringing it back to Kendrick, why he's so substantial.
Full circle.
Is because his music has substance, it has truth, it has realism in it that is not a fantasy. It's not based off materialistic desires, things that are going to make you feel really good right now. It's stuff that's actually going to hurt probably right now. And most of the things he comes up with, most of the lyrics he has are challenging you.
Yeah.
They're ugly to hear. They're uncomfortable to hear. But so much of what we need to do to actually make your life something that you enjoy being a part of is the stuff that on the surface sucks and is super uncomfortable and is super just yucky, and you don't want to do it. It's ill. It's not the pleasure. It's not the chasing pleasure. It's not the pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
We've spoken about this a bit, actually.
We've spoken about this a lot.
Pursuit of happiness is essentially making your life, your happiness impossible.
Yeah, the pursuit of happiness is the cause of your unhappiness.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because, like, by pursuing happiness, you're fundamentally saying that I'm incapable of happiness now.
Or that life is wrong as it is.
That life is wrong as it is, and I'm incapable of happiness now. And it's also
I'll be happy when.
An attachment to happiness itself.
Yep.
And it's like you will sometimes feel angry. You will sometimes feel sad. You will sometimes feel happy. You will sometimes feel laughter and all that stuff. And it's the rejection of the negative ones that are holding you back, that are keeping you where you are. If you feel like you're living life in this cell, if you feel like you are limited to this certain height. You can't get past there because, oh, my parents were that, my parents were this, I've done this, I don't deserve to be anything more than that. Well, as long as you believe that and you expect that that is what your life is going to entail, that is exactly what's going to happen. So being able to challenge that belief of yourself, being able to say, okay, maybe I don't necessarily believe that anymore. Maybe I am capable of doing something better. And it's far easier to learn to believe this, or actually really believe it, when you do things like showing up for yourself. You display discipline. You are consistent with things. You use a habit tracker. You find something that works for you. And you do the hard yards. You face the negative emotion. And you go through the things that you don't want to go through, because that is going to give you the life that you want.
Yep. Yeah, I think well put. Well put. This brings me back to the New Year's resolutions and how, like, our beliefs is the core of everything. Now, there's this part of your brain. It's called the reticular activation system. You don't have to remember that. But its role, like, what your brain does is, its role is to affirm whatever you repeat in it daily. So you see whatever's inside, like, whatever you're feeling inside you, or whatever beliefs you have about the world is what you will see. That's just a fact. So if there's, like, you and I, we love this. It's raining. It's getting a bit chilly now, but we love it because we believe that this isn't a problem. But, you know, someone else here could think this is a problem, and they're going to be not enjoying it. That's okay. You don't have to enjoy everything. But there's this part of your brain called the reticular activation system, and essentially, whatever you repeat in your mind daily, it will go out and find. And it will be like, hey, you think you're lucky. Here's an opportunity that affirms that. Go and do this, and you might get lucky.
Good catch.
Yeah, good catch. It's my cricketing instincts. I was a footballer, not a cricketer. I wasn't really good at cricket. I enjoy cricket. I like watching cricket. But I think when it comes to the New Year's resolution, I don't think we'll talk a lot about that. What I was going on there. We'll save that for another episode, because that's a deep topic. But when it comes to the New Year's resolution, I think another reason why people fail at just any habit is this concept of be do have. What be do have means is, first you have to be or believe that you can do the thing, or that you are the thing, or you have to, like, be the person who does the thing you want. The have is the outcome. So you first have to be the outcome, if you want it, if that makes sense. You know, you have to see yourself as the person who already has the outcome. And then from that, you start doing the things that they do, and then you get the outcome. And I think why most people fail is they just do. They don't first see themselves as the fit person. Like, even if you are currently unsatisfied with the way you look, maybe a bit chubby. We've been chubby before, both of us. It's all good. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes, sir.
But if you see yourself as the chubby person, then you will be way more likely, like, if you still see yourself as a chubby person, you'll be way more likely to stop going to the gym than if you start seeing yourself as the fit person, or as the person who deserves a good relationship, or as the person who deserves a fulfilling career. It's be do have. Now, obviously, you have to do, but the be comes first. You have to believe that you can have it, or you have to believe that you are that thing. Like, it's super important. So don't wait till the New Year's. Do it now. Like, after this podcast, half an hour, or even 10 minutes, think about what you ideally want in life, and don't just think about what society tells you you want, and don't just think about the opposite of what society tells you want just for the sake of being different, but think about, what do you actually want in life? Write it down. In all areas of your life, like your health, what does success mean to you? Like, what does success actually mean to you? Like, what would successful mean? Like, when you get to 80 years old, what would success, like, what would it mean? Like, what would have to have happened for you to be like, this was a successful life? For your health, your relationships, your career, all the areas, your emotional health, mental health, spiritual health. Like, what does that look like? So what do I want? And like start reading it every morning. It's called visualization. You can close your eyes and visualize it, because then your brain starts looking for it. Then another question you can ask yourself is, who do I have to become in order to deserve those things? So let's say you do want a nice car. Nothing wrong with wanting a nice car. Just make sure you do want it. Like if you want a Lamborghini, go get it. If you want a Bugatti, go get it. But get it because you want it, not because someone's told you that you want it. Think about, okay, who do I have to become? Like the person who has that, who are they? What do they do every day? What do they think? What do they believe? And then you might think, yeah, well, I don't believe that yet. That's okay. You don't have to believe. There's nothing wrong if you don't believe it right now, but you can start believing it. And I think another thing that demotivates people is they expect, because of TikTok and everything, like our brain has learned that when we do something, we should get the reward straight away. So that when we don't get the reward straight away, then this is something to stop doing.
Yeah.
So with all of these things, like going to the gym, the results come up.
Yeah.
Way into the future.
Way into the future.
Like, one of my clients, I'm not gonna say her name, but we've been working together for one-on-one coaching clients 5 months, and she said to me on Thursday or Wednesday in our coaching session that this now makes sense. Like I'm starting to see this thing you were talking to me about a few months ago. Like I'm actually starting to feel less anxious now.
Yeah.
It's like it takes time.
Yeah.
And it's okay if it takes time.
Yeah.
So, which is why you need to be committed to the process.
Yeah.
Committed to showing up rather than committed to the result. Have the result, want the result, but don't attach your happiness to it. Which is why this is why Habit Track is so good, because you can actually see that you're making progress. So let's say your goal is to make, you want to make like $500,000 a year, $500 million a year. Let's say that's your goal. And let's say it takes you like a couple years to get there, or a few years to get there. If the only thing that you feel makes you feel successful is if you're there, then for the entire like 1,000 days or 2,000 days that it takes for you to get there, you're going to feel like a piece of shit until you get there.
Yes.
But if you have a habit tracker and you're like, okay, what does this person do every day? And you start doing those things every day, then even when the bank account doesn't look like that, you feel successful. And this isn't just, oh, yeah, I feel successful. It's like you actually realize that you're making progress.
Yeah.
Even though the external environment doesn't reflect the progress you've made, because there's a lag between effort and outcome. Like you going to the gym today, the gym gains show up. I don't know statistically what it is, but let's say it shows up 2 weeks later. Like the strength or the size, like the pump in your biceps.
Whatever it is, it's more about the principle.
Like it shows up 2 weeks later. And I think what people do is like they go to the gym for 2 weeks and then they don't see the results for 2 weeks and then they stop, but then that's when the results come up. And if they just kept going, it will come up. Like, don't stop. Keep going. Commit to showing up.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask me a question, bro.
Pick a number between 1 and 26.
7's my favorite number. 7's my favorite number.
Okay, cool. This is actually a really good one. There's a lot of kind of stuff online at the moment that's trying to... It's imposter syndrome. That's what this question's about.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
And it's a lot of stuff online. It's like, okay, this is how to get through imposter syndrome. This is how to overcome imposter syndrome. And that might not be the best way to go about it. So do you still struggle with imposter syndrome is the question. And what do you really think imposter syndrome is?
Yeah. Well, actually, what do you think it is? Because some people in here might be like, what's imposter syndrome? Like, how would you describe imposter syndrome? And then I'll answer.
Imposter syndrome, for the way I kind of interpret it, is essentially not thinking you are deserving of what you have.
Yeah.
And therefore feeling this internal conflict with, oh, I have this, but I don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And therefore something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's perfect. I would say, like the way I describe it, which is just another way to what you said, is like, who am I to do this? Like that's usually the thought we have. Who am I to do this? Who am I to be here? Who am I to sit at this table? Like, who am I to try and better myself? Like my whole, like my whole lineage has been stuck in poverty. Like, who am I to, like, this isn't true, but like, this is the belief. Like, my whole lineage has been stuck in poverty.
Yeah.
Poverty. Who am I to go and change it?
Yeah.
That's imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. So the question was, do I still struggle with it? Are you getting a bit wet? Are you cool with it? I'm cool. Like, I don't mind getting wet. Are you cool getting wet?
Do you want to move forward a little bit, just so we're not like sitting in wet t-shirts?
I don't mind. Like, I'm cool being here.
No, with the wind and everything, we'll get a chill.
Yeah. It's up to you.
Okay,
Like, I'm cool staying here.
Move them back.
Move them back?
Please.
Yep. Feel like an imposter. Alright, so, imposter syndrome. We've had to make a few adjustments with the rain.
Yes.
So, imposter syndrome. The question was, do I still struggle with it?
Yes.
Every day. I feel like an imposter all the time. All the time. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like an imposter all the time, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a problem. That's the first thing. I feel like, as you were saying before, it's not a problem. Your anxiety, it's not a problem. Your lack of confidence, it's not a problem. They're not problems. They're just things, and you learn how to deal with it, manage it, blah, blah, blah. But it's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. So imposter syndrome. Yeah, I struggle with it all the time, and the way I overcome it is the question. You just answer the question. Who am I to do this? Answer it. Who am I? Who are us to do a podcast? Like, who are us? Like, we'll get that. We've probably had this. We might have had this thought throughout the week. Like, we've only been coaching for like a year or two.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have 1 million subscribers. Like, we don't have 40 years life experience.
Who are we
like,
not to do a podcast?
Who are we, like, yeah, who are we to do, like, that's the question, who are we to do this?
Yeah.
So you answer it, and this isn't being egotistical, but, like, who are you to do this? What wins have you had? And even if you haven't had wins in that specific area, look into the other areas of your life. You likely are where you are because you deserve to be there. You deserve to be there. So me and my coaching business, I feel like an imposter all the time. It's like, who am I to coach someone on this? Because, and this is where it comes from, because you open up social media and I'll see another coach who's like 2 years ahead of me. It's like, oh fuck, I'm not there. I'm not at that level. Who am I to, now I feel like I'm not qualified to coach my clients. It's like, yes I am. I know I am. Like, I am. I can do that. But you just need to answer the question, who am I to do this? So, going back to like habit tracker type of thing is just to write it down. Like, answer the question, who am I to do this? Write down your wins and read it every morning. Like, who am I to coach people on addiction? I've overcome vaping. I've overcome porn. That's not saying I'm better than anyone, but that's for me. That's not for me to tell anyone like my wins. That's just to remind me. It's like, yeah, actually, I can do this. Like, and you have to remind yourself, because you forget. Like, you forget. Like, there's nothing wrong with forgetting. You just have to remind yourself. So the things you are going to forget, like, you might forget what your values are. You might forget what those, what your vision is that we said before. Like, when you write down what you want your best life to look like, you might forget what that is in 3 days' time. There's nothing wrong with that. You might forget what these, like, empowering beliefs are that you might want to have. You might forget them, so write them down. So when it comes to imposter syndrome, first thing to realize, it's not a problem. Second thing to realize is just answer the question. So, like, who are you to run a coaching business? I've already coached like 100 people. I've already overcome my own struggles. Like, I'm not at the end of my life. I'm not like, haven't overcome all of them, but I can help people get to where I am, and then in doing that, I get there, and then I can help them get even further. Like, Calum, who are you to run your coaching business?
One, I have a fascination with getting to the root cause of everything.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Love it. So it's a genuine passion.
That's the main problem in society. We just want to give a pill for everything.
Yeah, we
Master
are.
Symptom.
We are a society obsessed with treating the symptom.
Instant gratification.
Yeah. Jake and I, on the way here, we were talking about money.
Shout out to Jake.
Yeah, shout out to Jake, who's been recording everything. We love you very much. And we'll discuss this on the next one as well. But I've gotten through my own struggles as well. Of course, we all have.
Mm-hmm.
I've found ways in which I can do that in a healthy way, in a way in which is good for the people around you, in a way in which is good for the world around you, you will contribute more to the people, you will contribute more to the world, you will add value to the world. And I've found ways in which I can take my addictions, my negative things, understand them more, understand why I was doing it, and then from there make changes. And who am I to coach someone? Is I have an obsession with doing this consistently and being able to help people understand themselves better, be able to help them get to that next stage of their life that they so desperately want to do, but they just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And
Because you've done it.
because I've done
You've
it.
done it.
And I've gotten through there, and as I constantly improve, as I constantly will, I constantly get better, my clients constantly get better, and it's a flow-on effect down to the world, to their friends, their family, and it makes everyone better, and it makes us better as a society, the people, because that's what it's about. It's about connection. It's about making sure that you are actually adding value with your time on Earth, and you're enjoying it more and more each day. And who am I to do it? I'm helping people enjoy themselves more, and consequently the world being a better place.
Yeah. I think I'll add like one more point to that is, like, I think the thing that holds people back is they think they have to be the expert to start. Don't have that in itself makes zero sense. You have to be the expert to start. That makes zero sense in itself. But I think that's the belief like lots of us have. It's like, I'm not gonna try and become like a PT and start trying to coach people on their fitness because I'm not the expert yet. I'm not the top person. Or like, I'm not gonna try, like, we're both DJs. Like, I'm not gonna try DJing because I don't know much about the industry. It's like,
well, if you don't try,
go for it.
You can never win.
Yeah, go for it, man. Like, if you want to run a business, run it. You don't. I'm not saying everyone run the business. Like, if you want to, go for it. But see if you can. You don't have to be at the end, but see if you can take people. Like, if it's a coaching business, for example, see if you can take people to where you are. Like, there are coaches way better than me and you.
Of course.
Beautiful, and that's also inspiration of where
for
we can
us
get
to aspire to.
Yeah, but it's like, we don't have to. Like, you don't have to be the expert. You just have to. You can take people to where you are. I think that's something that holds people back from even starting, and that's exactly what imposter syndrome is. It's, you have to be okay with being like, when you level up and you enter like a new room, like you've leveled up and you go into like the new floor, like the upper tier. You're going to be the least qualified person there, and then whoever's next will be the least qualified. But that's okay. So going back to being okay with sucking, you have to be okay with being the worst or being the least qualified.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that because someone has to be there, and everyone who started was always the worst at some point. Like GWS in their first year, they haven't won a flag, but they've gotten close. But in their first year, Gold Coast is still struggling, but they were on the bottom. Like, you have
but
to.
You've got to be in it to win.
You have to earn your stripes, essentially.
If you're not in the game, you can't win. You can't earn them rewards.
Like, to be the black belt, you have to be the white belt. You have to get beaten up, and I think
that's when you learn. That's when you fail.
You have to be okay with being the white belt.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, there's nothing wrong with you for being the first person. Nothing wrong with you for being last.
Because you can't get to the top if you don't enter.
Yeah, and you learn through failure, not by winning.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a good place to end that. Do you have anything else you want to add? Any other thoughts bubbling around up there?
Oh, mate, we didn't even touch the top of what we wanted to talk about.
Do you want to give do you want us? Should we tell them what we did to prepare?
Sure.
Yeah. So, Calum and I, we didn't actually pick a topic to talk about today. We're very like go with the flow people, just conversationalists,
Yes,
and
sir.
we just thought, let's just write down 25 questions each, that if we ever get stuck, we can go to it. And I think we asked two of them. I asked you the Kendrick one, and you asked me the imposter syndrome one at the end.
We had 50-something questions.
We had like 50 questions between us. But that's the thing. It's like we wrote it down knowing that whichever one we ask, it'll be beneficial to whoever's listening because it will turn into a story. Yeah. It'll turn into a conversation. And
we love it, man.
And we love it. And like, as much as it's raining, like,
what a day.
How beautiful is this?
What a beautiful day.
How beautiful is this? Like,
you got the magpies over there waddling away.
This is my favourite weather. Rain is my favourite weather.
I know, it's just
I
the
love
best.
watching storms, even though it's not storming, but
Well,
Yeah, this is great.
this has been an absolute pleasure, and I'm
Yeah,
looking
man.
forward to doing it again sometime very, very soon.
Very soon. Before the end of the year, of course.
Of course, off
Of
the beaten
course,
path.
off
Thank you
the
again to
beaten path.
Jake,
Shout
the
out
man.
to Jake.
We
Thanks,
love him
brother.
very much. And
Appreciate it.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Hey.
Been good spending the hour and whatever it's been with you, hour and a half.
Hour
or
plus, whatever. It went. It absolutely flew, didn't it? So
Yeah, went quick.
unreal. Thank you very much,
Alright.
everyone, for listening in.
Thank you for listening,
And we'll see you next time.
take the abnormal off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.